All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning. Just getting things finally set up. Morning, Eamon. Wondering, Eamon, is this like late night for you, or do you wake up early? I'm curious. Like I was always wondering, are you staying up super late, or are you waking up super early like me? uh, all right, so welcome back to the cleanup. Um, I am attempting to clean up the last few remaining things in this game, and I think I've got 2 scans left. The days I make it here, I'm waking up 4 a.m. and watching 2 hours. I'm watching it 2 hours later. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you're 2 hours. So it makes sense. So yeah, I'm trying to. I know where the one of the scans I need to get is. I'm missing the shield bot. Oh, I need to get. I thought that was the elevator. I need to get up. Oops, wrong way. It helps that you got pineapple. Yeah, I know. I remember when I was searching for a job. You know, searching for a job is in itself a full time job. But you know, you do have some time here and there to flexibility to your schedule that you need. Job forwards a button. Oh dang. Sorry to hear that, man. I do not envy you. I was looking for a job for a year and a half too. It's not fun. So sorry to hear that. Finish that guy off first of all. If the journey could rule the world, it would be easy. Anyone could do it. That's a good quote. I like that. Nice to know you got some measured aspirations. Alright, so I'm going to head to the shock tower. And go to tower number 2 to get my shield Cybot scan, which is what I'm missing. And then I believe I need to go to the Volt Forge. No, that's where I'm going. The Volt Forge. Going to the Volt Forge to get Cybot, and then I'm also going to the volcano place. That's what it's called. I'm surprised that's not what it's named in this game. Volcano place. To get the last log, I think, for Lemorne. It is a cool suit design. I really like it. I think it's one of the best aspects about this game. That is a cool looking suit. All right. Breaking up the loading zones so the game can handle it. More loading zones. User Risu 87. How's it going, man? If Other M was like the Star Wars prequels, this game is like the sequels. I don't know if you've been watching the rest of my streams, but I've had moments where I'm like, I feel like I'm reliving the Star Wars sequels tragedy again. Character assassination and bad storytelling and the setting up of a plot that doesn't quite make any sense. Yep, that is a great way to put it. On that note, I did have an interesting comment. Well, it's not really an interesting comment, but it'll be fun to talk about because I haven't replied yet. I just haven't had the time to sit down and do it, but I did read it. Hang on, I'll read it once I...
Hello, Samus.
Hey, to copy. Okay. Yeah, it was... What was it? I'm not gonna dox the user here. Let's see. He said that this was in response to my will Prime 4 become a beloved classic comment. My short, and he says, because nowadays people like to bash everything. Everything is bad. Everything, quote unquote, was good back then. Their nostalgia goggles kill good games like this one. This one being Metroid Prime 2. He's saying this is a good game and it's being killed because of nostalgia goggles. Everyone wants an Expedition 33, an Elden Ring, and so on. We were so lucky. We lived in the golden age of video games, but today we are living in another age. It's different. We will never feel the same way when we were younger. Also, every single Metroid game after Super Metroid has been bashed ever since. There's also crappy fans, but just you wait when Nintendo says Metroid doesn't sell. Let's put it in the freezer like Earthbound, F-Zero, and recently Star Fox. Then everyone is going to complain why. Few things. I appreciate the comment, that user. If you do watch this stream for some reason, thank you for sharing. A couple of things right off the bat. I don't believe every Metroid game since Super Metroid was met with as much derision. I mean, I remember when Prime 1 came out, people were confused. It was first-person shooter, but I don't recall it being being as vitriolic, like the discussion around it. And maybe that's because it was still the early days of the internet. Like, when did Prime 1 come out? Prime 1 came out in... I want to say... I was in high school, so it must have come out in the early 2000s. Again, the internet has been around, but, you know, all you had were gaming journalists at that time really talking about video games. So the nostalgia goggles weren't really a thing. And everybody loved Dread. I don't remember any real solid negative press push around Metroid Dread. Everyone was super hyped about it. You could say Metroid Prime 3. People were upset about that, but again, not near to this level. That one's still debated about whether or not it's good or not, and I disagree that it's nostalgia goggles. You know, there's some very real things wrong with this game, and I don't think it's bad to point that out. I think that when people play a game they like, they have a negative reaction when other people start to bash it, which is normal. If you like a game or you like something and people start to point out flaws in it, then you either have to push back against it in a meaningful way, which I would love to hear this user's description of like why this game is good, or you can just agree and say, yeah, I know this is a horrible game, but for some reason I liked it and enjoyed it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Just gotta... A game being fun doesn't mean a game is good. You know, those things tend to overlap sometimes, but not always. 2002 was when it came out. Okay, yeah. So I was a sophomore in high school when that came out. Especially considering how a good chunk of Metroid's history was clouded by lack of internet being a thing. Yeah. And even still, we get new entries to games that come out. And it is a valid point worth talking about. Like, is it nostalgia goggles, or were games back then actually better? Because there does seem there is a more scrutiny on like new entries to franchises for sure. That's because we have something to compare it against. You know, it is what it is. When you make a new entry, it's obviously going to be compared to previous entries. And this one definitely has more sheen to it, but there's some very real problems with how it's designed. Oh, I missed this totally. Do that. That begs the question, is a game that's fun better than a game that is good? I mean, it depends on what you mean by good. And I don't just say that to be snarky. That is a good. I prefer to use the term quality over good. Like, if a game is quality, it will be. I would say it'll be fun to most people. And by quality, I mean a game that Okay, this is a bit of a longer topic. That is okay. So, Eamon says this is something that Neil Druckmann often caught flack for, saying we don't use the word fun here during Naughty Dog. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because fun is it is both a subjective term, but it is also still scamp waiting for me. Fun is a subjective term, but it is also a term that can be used to describe. Again, sorry, Eamon, you've heard me rant about. You've heard me rant about gacha games and gacha mechanics for a while now, so sorry about that, and anyone else listening as well. But fun can be something that is good for you, and fun can be something that's bad for you, and fun can be something that's well designed, and fun can be something that's not well designed. Like sitting at a slot machine, putting in coins, someone can be like, yeah, I had fun at the casino. Did you have fun at the casino? Or were you getting just enough quick dopamine hits to be considered fun? I think I'm trying to find good words for it, but like maybe the better word is like, did you have a meaningful experience? And does a game have to give you a meaningful experience in order for it to be considered good? Or quality. Sorry. Quality is the word I'm going to use. And then how do you produce a meaningful experience? I think you in order to produce a meaningful experience, you have to have a few things. You have to have something called meaningful play, which is another complex term that's like something that produces. Sorry, it's hard to do this and talk video game design philosophy. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, meaningful play is like, oh wow, I missed so much here. Someone watched Extra Credits. I didn't actually watch it. I got the term from this book. But now I will watch Extra Credits. But yeah, it's been a while since I've talked about it, and now I'm like losing the words that I used to describe it. Morning, Zeltroid. How's it going, man? He said, I love the atmosphere of Volt Forge. Had fun with this section the first time I played it. I just wish it was more complex now. I agree. It is one of the better designed areas. And I'm finding that I missed a few things here. Yeah, okay, so the concept of meaningful play. Meaningful play has everything to do with like producing in the player a sort of sense of agency, in that like the player feels like their choices matter. That's, and I've talked about this before, so again I'm sorry for the repetition, but not choices as in like a dialogue tree, but like choices as in like you can engage with the game to a degree in the way that you want to engage with it. So like I have options in this encounter I'm in right now. I can use my electricity beam, or I can use my ice beam and go for a different tactic. there's not one way I can tackle this room. I still have to kill those guys, but I can choose to do it in a different way. And complexity is kind of linked to it, where if this game is designed in a specific way, the different elements of this room interact with different other elements. There's not too much complexity in this game, unfortunately, but there is some aspect of meaningful play in that I don't have to take every encounter the way that every other player does. I can do it the way I want. Oh, look at that. But yeah, it's been a while since I've talked about meaningful play, I think, so I'll have to refresh my verbiage on it. But I think in my own like design philosophy, a game that produces meaningful play is worth playing. It's like the difference between, I've used this analogy before, it's like the difference between eating a Twinkie, which is enjoyable and delicious, but it's not really healthy for you. Or at least it's not good for you. Versus eating like a gourmet steak with like broccoli and you get all the the healthy steak values and like nice crisp broccoli with seasoning, and it's also good for you, versus a Twinkie. You know, both are enjoyable, but one is enjoyable on like another level, and it's actually healthy for you. I don't know how I got on that topic. I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone. Oh yeah, I was complaining about that guy's comment. And what it means for a game to be good. So yeah, while I could say that this game is good in a sense that like you have a base level enjoyment playing it, you know, it's not going to... I come away from playing this game and being like, I'm a little unsatisfied. Yeah, it was fun in the moment, but I can't really say that I'm left with a satisfied feeling. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Oh. Gotta get up there, okay. And also, it has to do too with that YouTube video, the YouTube channel, The Second Story. She did this long rant on AI and how the use of AI will eventually like atrophy people's brains. Like if you use it, especially in the creative process, like if you use it in the creative process, you're going to not exercise those brain muscles that you need to exercise. So, in a kind of similar fashion, I do think that when you're exposed to and engage with media that is not high quality, you can or you don't take time to think critically about the media that you ingest, you can also kind of atrophy your brain muscles when it comes to thinking about these things. And again, I'm not trying to overthink things or being too highbrow. I do think we should think critically about the media that we talk about, and if you don't like to do that, that's fine. You don't have to. But humans spend a lot of their time playing video games, and maybe we should think about that a bit. are needlessly hard to kill. But yeah, if you only play games that are low quality, you know, your baseline enjoyment level will begin to expect like those are the types of games that are quote unquote good. Or you don't ever think critically about the games that you're playing and like why they're good. That's really interesting to me. I want to know why people love some games and hate others, and I don't think it's just mere preference. I think there are some objective things that the developer can do to make a quality gaming experience that most people will enjoy, because preference is part of it. All right. I'll say more as I come to think of it, but I'll get off my soapbox for now. Thank you for humoring me, everyone. Okay, what is this here? Okay, those go down. How do I get in there? Oh, good. Yeah. Do, 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 do. Maybe screw this up. Nope. Amy says, I think I've shown you some of this stuff in the past. Their videos always come with a disclaimer, as they lost their minds a few years after hitting it big and started pushing for modern audiences. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. I remember you introduced me to those guys. Okay, I still did not come across a shield bot. This was productive though, because I did get things I need, but I need a shield bot. That's what I need to scan. Or that psychic bot too. That'd be that's something I feel like I need to scan too. Hey, buddy. Oh, I did scan him. Did I get everything here? Looks like I did. How come they didn't show up on my mini-map? Oh, maybe it... That's why. There we go. Saltroid says, just ranked all 41 bosses in the Prime series. Oh man, I'm working on the video just to get a feel of things. What's your favorite Prime boss? Oof, that's a good question. I mean, obviously the ones that come to mind are Prime 1. I mean, the Omega Pirate is awesome. I loved fighting him. I still like fighting him. I just think it's such an epic fight. When I recently played through Prime 2, Quadraxis was way more fun than I remembered him being. That was something I think that Prime 2 did better than Prime 1, is the bosses, aside from the Spider Ball Guardian, the one you have to fight in the Spider Ball maze, which was awful. But a lot of the bosses there were more puzzle-like. Like, it really took advantage of the fact that you got to think and scan and try to figure out different ways to use all the items that you got to beat these bosses. I thought that was really, they did that really well. And Quadraxis is the boss I think that really fits that bill. So I'm not gonna rank. I'd say definitely Omega Pirate is my favorite, but when it comes to the just like the general bosses that I enjoyed, we'll throw Quadraxis in there. Ridley's fun in Metroid Prime 1. Emperor Ing was a good fight. I didn't really enjoy Dark Samus fights in Prime 2. And I don't really remember Prime 3 very much when it comes to the bosses, unfortunately. I still have to play that again. So if I had to give... Okay, let's do top 3. Probably Omega Pirate, Quadraxis, and yeah, we'll go with Ridley. Ridley from Prime 1. Guys take too much bullet sponginess, too much. These guys. All right, did I clear this place out? No, I did not. Oh, look at that. I missed something right at the beginning. And over here. Man, I'm just not good at this game. Great minds, think alike, Ultra. I'm eager to hear that. Eamon, how about you? I'm curious what you think. What are your favorite Metroid Prime bosses? And if you're just chilling out in the chat, just watching, maybe chime in there. I'd love to hear it. Wait, I thought I got that one already. Oh, it's in here. Oh, look at that. It was just chilling out here the whole time. I think this might be the last, like, few upgrades I need. I might get 100%. If Samus's gun was as powerful as it was in that cutscene with Psylux, like, I could just destroy this whole tower right now. Bam! And this whole thing would just explode. Like in the cutscene. I'll be honest, it's been years since I played a Metroid game. other than Dread. So the only boss I really remember was the giant blue prototype space pirate from the OG Prime. The Omega Pirate, and you remember it because it's awesome. So fighting Psylocke and his dragon heads, man, while babysitting McKenzie isn't your favorites. You know, it's weird. The only boss that I would say in this game that is gonna stick with me is the Omega Griever. You know, I had more my first playthrough. I mean, you guys saw it. My first playthrough, I struggled with beating Psylocke, but that was mostly because of my own stupidity and not not refilling my health before before going into it. But the Omega Griever is gonna stick with me. It's a fun fight, but that's about it, really. Kept killing it, felt unfair. But if we expand it beyond beyond Prime games, I would say definitely Ravenbeak is one of my favorite Metroid boss fights. He was a ton of fun. And challenging. And a well-designed villain overall in like every aspect. Master Hand. From Super Smash Brothers, Master Hand, that guy. Give me a shield bot. I need a shield bot. Yeah, I constantly hear people praising the bosses of this game, but honestly, I feel like they're just decent and no way matched with the bosses of Prime 1, 2, 1, and 2. Yeah. I mean, they can be intimidating. I don't know. It's really hard because, you know, when I was complaining about that guy's comment, there is something to the nostalgia glasses. Like, when I replayed Ocarina of Time, I had to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to look at this game critically and not just give it all the praise because it's one of my favorite games and how it made me feel as a kid. So there is something to that, and I wonder if were I to play this game as a kid and it was my first experience with Metroid, those bosses probably would have been more more impactful, because they did have a presence to them, and they were, you know, fairly challenging, especially on hard mode. But I don't know. I would say, I would wager too that even if this was it is your first Metroid game and you're playing it as a kid, you still have those, like, you're still bright-eyed and optimistic about the world. That because of the way this game's designed, it won't be a I don't know, maybe a beloved childhood classic. Can I make that claim? Is it possible? I have to get inside there. I don't know. Aha! I get there. What is this? Okay, go all the way down. How does this work? Can I hide behind these things? Does this work? Yes. Go that way. I dig the Omega Griever, though. Great build up to the battle, unique fight, decent challenge, intimidating design. And the takeout was dope, even though it killed me the first time. The fake out was dope, yeah. Yeah, there was great build up to that boss. You know, you fight progressively strong, like you fight a stronger Griever. And it was like you lose all your teammates. It's just a shame that that didn't hit as hard as it could have. Yeah, it was definitely a great build up to that fight. Hey, buddy. Wow, bombs take him out pretty quick. I wonder if that happens other places. Give me a shield bot. Yeah, and they show the massive empty hacked sack and that birthed the Griever. Love that stuff. Builds good tension and you can tell what's coming. Environmental storytelling. Environmental storytelling. Something that this game I feel lacks a lot of, except in that one instance. I don't know. I'd be open to hear people's environmental storytelling is something I want to dive into a bit more and like how to do it right. Because I loved Breath of the Wild and I thought it had great environmental storytelling, but I know some people really didn't like Breath of the Wild, so but I would argue that environmental storytelling is essential to the feel of a Metroid game. Like if your goal is to design a Metroid game with the feel of a Metroid game, you need environmental storytelling. All right, did we clear out the tower? Ugh, gotta go all the way down there. Okay. Alright, time to go all the way back up. Guild Wars 2 Manifesto. Yes, please do. Environmental storytelling is one of those things that, like, you really gotta trust the player and trust your art designers. Because there's so much you can miss if you're not paying attention as the player. That's why I feel like, again, like, I can't... In that comment that guy made, that I read at the beginning, he said, like, no game today is going to make you feel like you did when you were a kid. Like, I disagree. Playing Breath of the Wild made me feel like a kid again, walking into, like, an unexplored world where I could figure out what happened, and it didn't matter to me. Like, even, it didn't even bother me the fact that the world was kind of empty, because to me it wasn't empty. I could explore, like, going to a new location, I wasn't just looking for what I could get, but also like had that question, like what happened here? What part of the story did it play in? Like, I don't know. There was just so much there, and the same with Elden Ring. Playing Elden Ring was incredible for the first time. That made me feel like a kid again. And you know, it does hint to my own preference as a player that I love exploring as a player, and I get that some people don't like that, or it doesn't appeal to them very much, which is fine. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But if you hit me with a game with good storytelling and good lore and environmental storytelling, I will overlook gameplay faults just to explore and play the game. And like, unfortunately, this game, I don't think it has good storytelling, good environmental storytelling, and whatnot. But yeah, it's one of the things I love about gaming. Get to explore a whole new world. Was there a shortcut? Could I have done a little shortcut there? There are some ways Breath of the Wild wasn't satisfying, but it was the environmental storytelling for me. It was the lack of complex dungeons, underwhelming side quests, but everything else was amazing. I fully agree with that. The lack of complex dungeons was not great. I would have loved more in that area for sure. Says dumb comment. I got Metroid Dread waiting in line at GameStop. It has 32-year-old man. And I already have tons of nostalgia for it, and yes, I enjoyed it as much as I did when I was a kid. Yeah, Metroid Dread, man. That's one of those games that I feel like every now and then I'll be like, I think it's time for another Metroid Dread playthrough. It's already happened twice now for me. I had this interesting question once. If you could only choose, I posted it on X, got some interesting answers, but like, you can't choose a multiplayer game, and you can't choose a game that relies on online. There's no DLC, but if you had to pick one game, and you could only play that game for the rest of your life, what would you pick? You give like three answers. Let's see, I gotta get to tower number 3. Aha, there they are. Yes. Give me the sweet scan. Now you're just a regular Cybot. Okay, line up, guys. Sign. Morning, Tim. Um, ideally, you pick one, but I'm going to expand it for three. Let's say you pick 3 games that you can only play that you have to play for the rest of your life. Can't play any other games. No multiplayer games allowed. The original question was just one. Do I really have to go all the way down there again? Isn't there a shortcut? Alright, let's go. Why is my speed limited? One of mine is definitely... Oh, I can go all the way down the bottom. Great. One of mine is definitely Mega Man X. I just love that game a lot. Oh God. This is hard. There you are. I'm trying to think like I want to throw Ocarina of Time in there because I love it so much. But Ninja Gaiden Black. I would put Metroid Dread in the running for me. Just because it has, like, the boss rush mode, different modes of play. It's fun. I put Breath of the Wild in the running because it's so big and just fun to explore. But maybe I should put Tears of the Kingdom. Because I'm like... I'm trying to balance practicality with games that I love. Hey, 100% items. Yeah. Do I really have to kill all the enemies in this room? Go back up. So yeah, if I was doing like practicality, I'd probably pick Tears of the Kingdom over Breath of the Wild. But if I was going for like games that I like really make me feel good, Breath of the Wild over Tears of the Kingdom. But Tears of the Kingdom just has way more to do in the same game world, so Elden Ring's up there in the running for me. One of the Donkey Kong Country games, because I love it. I love those games. That's tough. My favorite games don't even make good answers because you need depth. It's got to last exactly. Yeah, I would say Tears of the Kingdom, Minecraft, and Metroid Prime. Yeah, Metroid Prime. Like, you want to balance like a game that is like kind of simple that you can revisit every now and then that makes you feel good, but then also a game that you can continually play. Do a barrel roll. A game I do want to play soon is the Star Fox 64 recently got a PC port, and I'm like, I have it downloaded and ready to play, so I might throw that in there between now and when when Resident Evil 9 comes out. Just do a few smaller games that I can beat in like a day or two. A run through. I'm trying to think. A run through Star Fox 64 probably only takes an hour or two, maybe. I'm not even like I'm into Minecraft, but you could build new things forever. Like, can you make games in that game? Yeah, you can. That's a good point. When I was going into the Volt Forge was that there was a crystal boulder that was a smaller crystal boulder, that was part of the bigger one. And when I exploded the bigger crystal boulder, I got all the crystals, but that smaller one was not exploded, and it didn't appear on the map, which is really annoying. So I got it, and if that doesn't fill up the crystal thing, then that means there's some other small crystal boulder that I missed on the map, which is annoying. Don't go back to sleep. Stay here with us. You don't need sleep. Okay, now, I'm not 100% sure where this scan is. Alright, let's just make sure. Okay, so I did look this up. The last Silex fight has 2 scans. You have to scan him once, and then you also have to scan when he goes into his, like, boost ball mode. Okay, Vuros. I think I got everything here. Okay, good. Machines, I think I just cleared out the machines. Yep. Okay, Lemorne lore, I got all of them. Now I just need this one. And I think it's in the volcano. Yeah, see, look, this thing. Did I just miss it now? Or... Oh, no, wait, it's not part of the... Oh, maybe it's just part of the landscape. Where are these last crystals? This is going to drive me nuts. No more are showing up on the map. Did I miss a boulder somewhere? I know, Miles. I'm distancing myself from you so it doesn't hurt as bad when I eventually abandon you. Not that it really hurts very, very much. I checked all the shrines for like little crystal shards that I might be missing. Wait. Oh no, that's just that's dumb. I thought it was like about to show me a green area. I must be missing a boulder somewhere. It's not on the radar, then I'm inclined to think it's in a shrine. Yeah, I know, but I checked all the shrines. Ugh, do I have to go back and do that again? Kind of feels like a lazy attempt to try and take down things. I'm gonna get to your comment. Ow, ow, ow. Oh no, because the boulders are actually marked on the map. The boulders do not appear. Do you go for high scores on Star Fox 64? I've been improving my scores for decades. I'm not joking when I say it's borderline pro status at this point. I did it as a kid. I made so many runs as a kid trying to improve my score, and then I watched as I got old. Like I stopped doing it for a while, and then I got older and watched a speed run, and I'm like, I was like, man, I really suck at this game. What's your high score, Zeltroid? I'm curious. Okay, so how do we feel about the game? How do we feel about the game design-wise? This game has such a bunch of things that I like all the mech parts being in the desert except for one. It's not in the radar. Okay. It kind of feels like a lazy attempt to try to make things more exploration-driven. It is a lazy attempt to make things more exploration-driven. They're trying to get you into the desert, but I don't know if you were here for it, Tim, but when I was when I mentioned a few things about the article from the producer that from the video that Zeltroid showed, was like they intentionally made the desert like not like Breath of the Wild. Like in Breath of the Wild, you look out and you see all these cool things, and you're like, ooh, I want to go to all those places. They didn't want that for the desert. They wanted the desert to be like, okay, I'm just gonna drive through it and get things along the way. That's they. I don't know why they made that choice, but they did. But they also want you to explore the desert, so it has like it's intentionally has not interesting stuff in it, and they want you to explore it. Which those two things that I don't think fit together well. Like I'm not a professional game designer or anything, but I kind of feel like that was a bad decision. Okay, when I looked it up last night, the last lore scan I need is somewhere in here. Maybe the big area? It was like, walk in and look to the right, and I forget which room it told me to look to the right in. Oh, well, that's where I thought it was, over there. Cheating on my live stream. Logbook. Okay, I'm missing delivery status. The delivery status data log is on the table in the corner to the entry of the flare pool. What? Oh, so apparently it is... Is that the right place? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh. Oh, yeah. Entry bay. So apparently it's like right there. Again, if I really cared about this game, I would not do that. But I'm ready for this to be over. It's not like painful or anything. It's just, that's why I gave it a 5 or a 6. There's some redeeming aspects to it. Some things that I hope they carry over gameplay-wise, like the combat, and some things about it I don't like. A lot of things about it I don't like. But yeah, I'm ready to start playing a different game now. These turrets do so much damage. My high score is close to 2,200. Sidebot gunner. Oh, that's cool. Do you see that? When the electricity hits those missiles, it like spreads them out. Your high score is 2,200. Corneria, Medio, Katina, Sector X, Macbeth, Area 6, Venom. Interesting. I always thought, I mean, obviously I'm wrong because I'm not a pro at this, but as a kid I always went Corneria, Sector Y. Sorry. Yeah, Sector Y is the one with the mechs. Corneria, Sector Y. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the next level. I basically do the left route, the top route, and then once you get past Aquas, you don't go to Sector X. I went down to Macbeth, then back up to Area 6. That's what I did. Ready to stop playing? But what about the upcoming Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Temple of Time DLC? Yes, the only thing that can save this game is Ocarina of Time. Okay, am I going crazy? Like, where is this scan? Did I get it already? Did I misread? Injection facility shut down. Prayer. Delivery status. Yeah, delivery status. That's the one I need. It's in the... Oh, I think I'm in the wrong place. I gotta go a bit farther in. My road is actually not the same. The most common route for pro players is I think is yours. At this point, I just make it work. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's true. If you consistently get a high score, why not stick with it? My least favorite level was Aquas, and I don't think I'm alone in that. Okay. I will say, at this point in the game, when I'm encountering these enemies, I'm like, ugh, I have to kill them all again. They take forever. Whereas like when I was, I think my playtime here is 16 hours, and my first round was 16 hours as well, I think. So when I was around this playtime, this kind of playtime for Breath of the Wild, when I would encounter like enemies, it was still fun. You know, it's still like when you fight a Lionel, it's like, oh man, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. But now here I'm just like, ugh. There it is, guys. We did it. We'll read it just because I didn't read any of the others. Preparing for the next green energy shower. Are proceeding according to plan. The majority of precious fuel mined from the oil fields is being delivered to this facility, and the workers are diligently going about their tasks with a sense of nervous satisfaction, as this will be the first shower diffusion since the crystals were distributed. All Lamorn are focused on results. Failure will not be tolerated. Failure will not be tolerated? What are they going to do? Like, assassinate their fellow Lamorns? Doesn't sound very, very Lamorn-esque. We will succeed. 98? Oh, that's right. I have to get the... Right, okay. Okay, we're good. Whew, okay. It's funny, this game is like... this game's like, oh no, we found this oil in the ground. Then we're gonna turn it into stuff to shoot over the land, and as like... that will rain down over us like chemtrails. Okay. Let's get out of here. Yeah, Aquas is terrible. Sector Z and Fortuna are short though, so they deserve some hate too. I don't want to fight these guys anymore. They just take too long to kill. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like fighting a Lionel in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Like by the end of the game, you're like, yeah, I can take this thing out. But if you screw up, you know, there goes half your health, and you die. But you can also take it out pretty quick, and it's a fun fight. Here, it's like these things can kill you pretty quickly, but it takes forever to kill them. It makes so much sense now, knowing that Tanabe wrote this trash. Should have stuck with a professional writer. Yeah, it does. It's all coming together. He made the Lamorn sound like space pirate military. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were intimidating. The Lionel were very intimidating. I agree 100% with you, Cheville. They still are intimidating. Like when you come across one, even at like maxed out Link status, you know, unless you're like a super duper pro player who can like do a bomb flip and unleash like 100 arrows into its face in like the span of 2 seconds. Why can't I go faster in this area? Cut off the game. Hard mode, master mode in Breath of the Wild is I hate this. It was fun. That's what I play on now whenever I play it. But again, it's not. I would say it falls into the same trap that all Metroid games do, in that they really just they only mess with the values that like just make things kind of like arbitrarily harder. Like enemies take more hits, they deal more damage, and your weapons break faster. That's why I gave that caveat about the weapon durability in hard mode not being great. Whereas they should have, they could have reorganized things. They could have, you know, they did the, you know, make it so that instead of blue bokoblins, you're always going to fight red bokoblins, and then everywhere where there's a red bokoblin, you fight a black one. So that was kind of nice, but again, the enemies don't do anything really differently. They just harder versions of themselves. Okay, let's check this out. I gotta stop playing soon, so hopefully I'll be able to find this last crystal wherever it is. Here, crystal, crystal, crystal. Yeah, see, I've explored this area. I looked in here. Where is it? Better yet, why is my green energy crystal finder not detecting it down here? Didn't they play test this part? They should have never programmed that the crystals would split off into tiny little shards that you could miss like that. What were they thinking? Okay, nothing in that one. Breath of the Wild was so special. They really did make the line out an amazing experience. Gleeoks were cool. Oh, yeah. The Gleeoks were pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm not saying Tears of the Kingdom is a bad game. It's a great game. It's really fun. It's just... They should have just gone right for Tears of the Kingdom instead of doing Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild made it worse. I don't want to open my map. Alright. Just in case you forgot that that's where home base is, they tell you again. Alright, I'll search for a few more minutes, and then if not, we'll call it a day, and then I'll figure out where it is. I thought that was a rock. On my own. Yeah, because the rocks do show up as, like, they show up as, like, green markers on your mini-map. So, it is probably in a shrine, even though I thought I went to all the shrines again and checked them out. Keep thinking like maybe I missed a rock, but I know it's probably not a rock. Or maybe it is. Maybe the rocks don't show up like on the peripheries of the map and I have to actually get closer to it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Ow. There were two up here. Yeah, do these count? Do these little guys count? Doesn't look like it. look like it at all. What about this one? How did they not get hit by that explosion? That's what I want to know. Yeah, look at that. There it is. Oh my god. What use is the green energy crystal? What? Why? Why did it have to be? Why couldn't it show up on my radar? Why did I have to get close to it? That better have been it. Alright, let's go turn these crystals in. Hopefully that's it. Otherwise I'm going to have to zigzag through the map again because I have to be within 100 yards of it. Why would they do that? Alright, where's Fury? Okay, there we go. Breath of the Wild was fresh and captured our imagination. Tears of the Kingdom was awesome, but held back by its familiarity. Yes, exactly, yeah. I heard that was the same thing that people were saying about Bioshock 2. Like, technically, Bioshock 2 is a better game, but because we had all been to Rapture before, it didn't have that same, like, punch. Like, screw this game, dude. Yeah, bro. Screw this game. Maybe Tanabe had, like, a secret grudge against players for some reason and just decided to do that. Alright, this will be a great way to end this episode, and then next time I can start with the finale. Take down Psylocke. Time to go through the loading screens again. Boop. Zero Punctuation had a great take on Bioshock 2. Remember the worst part of the first game, playing as a Big Daddy? Let's make that the entire game. Prime to Prime 2 and OOT to Majora's Mask were the perfect sequels while keeping the core assets, but the worlds were still very different. Keeping Tears of the Kingdom in the same Hyrule was the biggest mistake. Yes, 100%. Yep. Yeah, they should have... I know they tried to make it with the upheaval, but again, that's why I felt like a DLC. It was... I don't know. I know they wanted to continue the story, but I don't know how they would have done it and still... Maybe they should have just not done it. Not continued the story. Because I don't know. I mean, from what I've learned, the devs were like, we had so many ideas. We were going to put out a DLC, but then we just decided, okay, let's just make a whole different game. Man, Majora's Mask 2, that game. I played that game so many times. That game had an awesome, like, atmosphere and tone and, like, seriousness to it. Ugh, I want to play that game again. Getting a lot of work done, guys. Standing around. I swear, if this is not... Bye. If this is not the last of the green crystals. Okay. All the emotion in Samus's face. Okay. Hey. What did I get? What was the point of that? No reward, no super secret item. Like, why? They could have thrown in, like, another weapon, another cool thing. Something. There has to be incentive to do stuff like this. Did I get artwork? Majora's Mask is freaking art. Yes, it is. 100%. Tanabe, humanity is no longer worth the good games. I shall punish them. They wanted to make the Tears of the Kingdom along with Breath of the Wild into one whole game. Yeah, I could see that. So, you are the satisfaction of knowing you toil for no reason, all is dust. It's like that Sisyphus game, Tim, that you told me about. You just push the rock all the way up. And then it falls back down.
Welcome back.
They escape me again. At least Breath of the Wild, they gave you a golden turd. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I never even attempted to get 900 Korok seeds. Well, okay, that's a good place to end it for today. Tomorrow will be the finale of Metroid Prime 4. So, Tim, Zaltroid, Eamon, Cheville, thank you for accompanying me on this saga. And what a ride it has been. I've been, seriously, all my thoughts have been about video games and stuff have been absorbed by this game. And I was like, started to watch a review yesterday of someone, and I was just like, I've thought every thought there is to think about this game, so it's time to move on. Why would they show you the blue meter of the crystals if there isn't a reward? I think they might give you character art. but I think it's part of the 100% completion. Like, if you don't get that... And man, that reward... Getting that reward, like, seeing that extra scene with Silex just is not enough. Man. Ugh. It has been an educational run. Oh, thanks, Eamon. What to do, what not to do. And when you just walk away. A little sad. But I'll play a different game on Tuesday. So alright guys. This is a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. That would help me out a lot. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, so we'll finish up Metroid Prime 4 tomorrow. And provided I don't have to end up staying up late or anything like that. And oversleep. And then we'll find something new to play the next couple days. I will continue to play Metroid games. So Metroid games will at least always be on Monday. I don't know, maybe... Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll just finish off Prime 3. We'll just go right into Prime 3 and beat that before Resident Evil 9. So, anyway, we'll think about it. Okay, thanks guys. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you later.
Someone wants to play. Incoming enemy from the rear. Drop altitude.